Now, what I would like to do is change the pace and take you guys to a different place. So if I may, can I ask you to shuffle down comfortably in your chairs, draw a slow breath whilst we dim the lights, and I tell you about a place called the Cabrach. Sitting comfortably? Good. Now, the Cabrach is a remote and hauntingly beautiful place. A place where the sky is vast and the rolling hills, kissed in purple heather and yellow broom, cascade into lush green pastures. A place where the rivers Devon and Blackwater babble their winding course to the sea, past birch-fringed riverbanks. A place alive with wildlife. Soaring golden eagle, magnificent red stag, flighty wildcats, where the rhythm of life is still dictated by the seasons. Fringed by the Cairngorms to the south, Speyside and the Moray Firth to the north, Aberdeenshire to the east. In the ancient county of Banffshire, the Cabrach has a strong sense of place with an extraordinary history of community spirit and resilience. Once a thriving community and the hub of a renowned smuggling and illicit whisky industry, the cultural narrative of the Cabrach is one of people in a remote and fragile place. A rebellious land, an ancient smuggling heartland, a birthplace of malt whisky. Can you feel it? Can you see it? However, this is an area that has suffered from significant depopulation. At the turn of the 20th century, the Cabrach had a population of over 1,000 people. Today, it is under 100. This is a place marked by war and loss. An extraordinary community with an unparalleled history at risk of being forgotten, at risk of becoming a museum of long-abandoned crofts and a landscape punctuated by wind farms serving as the only sign of life. This old community is on its knees. This is the Cabrach story. But this is not a dissimilar story to so many other communities like it in Scotland or even around the world. And you might be sat there thinking about a similar such community that you know, that you love, that you share some sort of connection with, whether through family or childhood memory or something else. The importance of such communities can feel intangible. Times change, people move on, that's life, right? Maybe. I would argue that these great landscapes and our great communities are of fundamental importance. They are central to our collective identity and our cultural heritage, and we have a responsibility to steward these places for the generations who are yet to come. So I want to explore the importance of being disruptive. I want to share how a small group of like-minded individuals can turn the tide on community decline. I want to outline how a theory of change based upon tradition, place, and heritage can fuel a sustainable community renaissance. A theory of change, I believe, has relevance to other communities in Scotland and beyond, perhaps providing a replicable blueprint. But first, I'd like to share some important context. For such communities, a lack of basic resources to meet needs is repeatedly shown as the major factor in a community's inability to sustain and maintain identity, commitment, and viability. There have, of course, been efforts across the years to redirect resources to fragile communities, farm subsidies, grants, revenue sharing, to name but a few. However, it could be argued that the dependence of rural communities on others is what so often hinders or caps vision. It's the formal bit. To imagine a different outcome, to disrupt that sense of dependence and decline, we need a new way of seeing these old places, an approach that looks forward, invests intelligently, brings others with us, whilst fiercely protecting the many special characteristics of these incredible places. An approach that ignores those who say it cannot be done, an approach that celebrates remoteness and isolation as assets as opposed to liabilities. So, begs the question, what are we doing in the Cabrach? So we are going to regenerate this area as a sustainable, thriving community working with and alongside our community. We will act as custodians of the Cabrach's rich heritage and place in Scottish history, and we will ignite a renaissance of people living and working here again. Affordable housing will come about, rewilding initiatives, well-being walks, employment, connectivity. We intend to make a lasting impact. But to achieve this, for us, sustainability must be baked into our long-term strategy. This requires a bold approach. Our approach will deliver the creation of the Cabrach distillery. Here we will distill, mature, and bottle a whisky of unparalleled quality in harmony with our fragile environment. We will curate, share, and celebrate our heritage. We will honor all those people, past and present, who have come from the Cabrach. We will create a beacon social enterprise, bringing to bear transformative and sustainable regeneration, which will manifest in several exciting ways. This will create new employment, providing training on a whole range of vocational and traditional skills. This is an essential, proven part of community building. The whole project will be delivered in harmony with our fragile environment, with water sourced on site and a commitment to renewable energy. Although a heritage distillery, reviving an old industry in the heart of the Cabrach, we will pay acute care and attention to our environment. Beyond an exceptional distillery, the development of a heritage centre will showcase the Cabrach story, attracting new visitors. This will become a destination and a meeting place which celebrates the history of the Cabrach, bringing to life the role that distilling has played in this area for centuries. And if we get this right, the profits we make will serve as the lungs of the Cabrach, giving life to a multitude of other projects and programs for the benefit of the community for years and years to come. And all of this combined has the potential to create an exemplar well-being economy. But why is this important? What will it do? This project will buck a trend of decline and begin to unwind some of the damage that has been done across recent decades, opening a new, different chapter for the Cabrach, a chapter which offers hope and opportunity for this area. And our small community will play a central role in bringing about the change that they want to see, encouraging them to think more about their futures, putting into practice their ideas, empowering them to solve problems, restoring pride. This will become a new part of the Cabrach story. And things like this are happening across the world. Whisky, illicit distilling is our thing, but what was your community once known for? What sits at the center of your community's identity? What are you going to do? What can we do? Because if there is one thing I have come to know, appreciate, and marvel at, it is the difference that people can make on the issues and challenges they care most passionately about. They can overcome, they can find solutions, they can innovate. Scotland, the Northeast, is rightfully proud of our natural environment, our ancient lands, our wild places. We have a huge responsibility to steward these places with responsibility and sustainability. To do this, we must look at these old places with new ideas. And it is hard, and it's sometimes thankless and full of friction, but if we don't, these communities will suffer, these communities may fail. That is our responsibility, and every one of us has it in us to make a difference. Volunteer, innovate, stick your head above the parapet, pull on your wellies, grab a spade, whatever. Whether it's the Cabrach or a community that you know, that you love, such decline is not irreversible. So, we draw huge inspiration from those ancient illicit distillers who navigated fear and threat to carve out a living on the Cabrach's marginal lands. We draw strength from their resilience and their enterprising nature. We share a tear for the loss and decline experienced across the Cabrach and experienced across so many communities like it. But through our work, we will disrupt that tide of neglect, and we will ignite a renaissance of people living and working in the Cabrach again. And we will challenge those who would turn their backs on such places, those who would tell you it's too late, it can't be done, those that would say the damage is done and there's nothing you can do about it. I, very respectfully, disagree. Instead, I choose to raise a glass to being disruptive. I choose to raise a glass to the spirit we are yet to distill and the whisky we are yet to mature. I choose to raise a glass to the difference a small group of individuals can make to the issues and challenges they care most passionately about. And I choose to raise a glass to all those who came before us and the power of hope. To me, that mindset epitomizes new ways of seeing old things. Our fragile communities, our great landscapes require. No, we owe them a renewed, resilient, enterprising, and disruptive approach. Slàinte.